Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Rex Litha with Monday's News. In this edition, exercise Talisman Sabre concludes in Leh. PNGFA gives Bougainville government forestry functions, and Dabaris show resilience in round 16. The Usino-Bundi by-election officials comprising of the returning officer Terence Bayo and assistant returning officer of each local level government did a one-day training on counting. It was facilitated by staff of the Provincial Electoral Office. The training was a refresher to ensure officials properly monitor the counting process and counting officials as well. Counting for the by-election begins Tuesday, 5th of August.
Counting for the Usino-Bundi by-election begins tomorrow, Tuesday, 5th August. Election officials for the by-election were given a refresher training on the counting process and how to better monitor it, and counting officials. Assistant Election Manager for Isipik, Richard Kabine, was a training facilitator. He emphasized on the new count model of decentralized counting at a centralized count center, which they will use to ensure counting is done effectively and efficiently. Trainees went through the LPV voting system and the technical details of the counting processes, such as exclusion, elimination, formal and informal ballot paper identification, exhausted ballot papers, calculating the absolute majority, allowed personnel within the counting venue, quality checks and procedures, appropriate forms utilized for counting, and quality checks and filling forms correctly. The training was for assistant returning officers to prepare them also for the LLG elections this September. The 9 participants were taken through counting scenarios to put into perspective situations which may arise as counting progresses. This included crisis management protocols and the chain of command and channel of communication needed to follow in the event an error is encountered. Usino-Bundi by-election returning officer Terence Bayo emphasized on due diligence for the counting so that the Usino-Bundi people genuinely accept their newly appointed leader for the next several months until the next national general elections in 2027.
We don't want to find anything in the primary to get it from the primary count. When you find some issues to the primary count, and when you come to last and long collective check it, that's possibility before we go to the elimination process.
Mr. Kaiban reiterated the importance of counting and the documentation for an acceptable count and declaration in line with the organic law on national and LLG election. He said the new counting strategy is said to be cost-effective as it limits counting days. The by-election counting will begin with separate LLG counts, quality checks, and later merging of data for elimination and eventually a declaration.
It's very important that you get what we train here. That return is very, very important because that returns will accompany the rate. Without that return, all but rejecting one is very clear. So commissioner one accepting it. Basically the 66 A's that's A1, A2, and then 66B. This lower I must go on.
A training session will be conducted with counting officials today in preparation for counting on Tuesday. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
St. Michael Sinsibai Parish in Tambul Nebula District, Western Highlands Province, delivered messages of hope, inspiration and encouragement to more than 300 Catholic students attending 6 high schools and secondary schools in the district recently. It was an important step to giving them spiritual compass as they embarked on their education journey and life in general. A 4-day retreat and leadership transformation event was hosted for high school and secondary school students at St. Michael's Sinsibai Parish in the Tambul Nebula District, Western Highlands Province. Students were taught important human values and educated about their priorities as students, but also as God-fearing young leaders and citizens of their communities and also the country. Father Michael Anis, parish priest of St. Peter and Paul Parish at Kiripia, led Holy Mass after the retreat. He emphasized these same values and priorities.
One cannot say like climb a mountain, go on mountain Gilwe, or one mountain imistable. This like an angry too, you must God lo find him God. God he make him yumi original too. Lo kama posem image blame straight. But because he me put down lo kain pass him lo ground. You may live him this life where no go one kind of someone I'm saying God like him lo come up lo life please.
Father Michael urged the students to spread the love of Christ and conform to their Catholic faith throughout their journey. He encouraged them to share goodness with others and have a positive impact on their respective communities. Students who attended represented Kiripia and Tambul Secondary School, Mount Gilwe, Gia, Kagul and Upper Nebula High Schools. The Catholic Students Retreat and Leadership Transformation is an annual event collectively organized by a faith-based fellowship group made up of students in each respective school. Its purpose is to encourage fellow students to uphold values and principles of life and Christian faith and leadership. In 2026, the retreat will be hosted by Kiripia Parish. In 2026, the retreat will be hosted by Kiripia Parish. Today, technology has become a cornerstone of modern life. Whilst it is a tool used across all forms of institution, it also poses profound challenges to the Christian faith. Lecturers from Metago Theological College in Central Province told this newsroom how church ministers are trying their best to spread the word of God and win more souls using technology. It is proving to be a challenge.
Technology is a powerful tool for Christianity in ways it could be utilized to spread the gospel, connect communities, provide access to religious resources, and support ministries. However, Metago Theological College lecturer Reverend Guba Araki believes technology is not only challenging when it comes to trying to use it for mission work, it is already becoming a distraction for Christians when not enough time and effort is being given to traditional Christian practices like praying, Bible reading, attending service, or doing community service.
Our Christianization has been truly challenged by the upcoming of technology and children being kind of kept away from the church at their earlier stages. And it is a struggle by we the ministers now trying to Christianize people. And while we are doing as much as we can, we are still faced with other oppositions that sometimes makes our struggle more harder. Yeah, we want Papua New Guinea to be truly Christianized, so because we are called Christian country.
Reverend Araki and his colleagues at Metago are teaching pastoral students to maneuver through challenges and simple distractions of technology while finding a balance between keeping their Christian practices and surfing through social media, for example.
While we are teaching our new ministers to be good ministers, there are still many challenges still coming from outside. Just like what the Bible says, the labor is okay, just that the harvest is hard to take. And so while we are trying our best, we still understand that the world is struggling to defeat the Christianity. But I believe when we the Christians come together and pray, it doesn't matter what religion, what church we are. But if we have one faith and one God, I think we will all stand together to bring salvation to our nation.
Matago Theological College keeps on with its mission of bringing more youths into the church, especially those whose interest in church work has shifted. Jasmine Erojak, TV1 News.
Meantime, Reverend Araki has concerned that the singing of prophet songs, infamously known in the Motuan culture as peroveta, is slowly dying out. A peroveta is most often sung during a church service, at cultural festivals and community gatherings. Peroveta evolved from singing a mix of traditional rhythms and rhyme-style music. It was brought to coastal areas of Papua New Guinea by missionaries of the London Missionary Society. Reverend Araki said the generational shift is a contributing factor to the peroveta dying out because more westernized music, singing, and instruments is being used widely to spread the word of God.
Becoming weak, and the gospel singing is becoming stronger and stronger. And many times we see and we kind of feel that peroveta should be strengthened. But because of the music westernization coming in, globalization with the music instruments, now our young people are playing music. And although there is music in gospel, it's kind of competition between the gospel singing versus the pop music, so it can be called that way.
The 11th iteration of exercise Talisman Sabre officially concludes in Lae, Papua New Guinea, today, August 4th, 2025, after 3 weeks of intensive training and high-end warfighting scenarios across Australia and complex training exercises in Papua New Guinea.
More than 40,000 military personnel from 19 participating nations and 2 observer nations completed the Talisman Sabre exercise, the largest bilateral combined training activity conducted between the Australian Defence Force and the United States Armed Forces. It reflects the strength of the enduring alliance and commitment by the Australian Defence Force to working with the regional partners. Defence personnel from Papua New Guinea, Australia and the United States came together to conduct a joint personnel recovery activity across several training locations between Lae and Wewak. It is the first time an exercise Talisman Sabre component has been held outside of Australia. This activity is a powerful demonstration of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force capabilities and Australia and the United States' growing interoperability with Pacific partners. Chief of PNG Defence Force, Rear Admiral Philip Polawara, said PNG has been proud to host a component of exercise Talisman Sabre in our 50th year of independence. It is an opportunity to demonstrate the strength of PNG defence partnership with Australia and the United States and the skills and capabilities of PNGDF. On the same token, Admiral David Johnson, Chief of Australia Defence Force, said the exercise Talisman Sabre reflects a shared commitment to enduring relationships between trusted allies and partners and a peaceful, stable and sovereign Indo-Pacific. Their counterpart, Admiral Samuel J. Paparo, Commander of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, said over the course of this year's exercise, they have achieved remarkable milestones, refining joint operational capabilities, integrating cutting-edge technologies, and enhancing their ability to conduct complex land, air, ambitious, and maritime operations seamlessly. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. After the break, PNG Forest Authority gives autonomous Bougainville government forestry functions.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSB's OneTalk wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSB's OneTalk wallet. PSB's OneTalk wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakarook, get up a big smile on face. Time for kimchi and a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, P&G and Mia. Buying P&G made.
We've been traveling along this road together for over 50 years. Ella Motors acknowledges the visionaries and hard work that have been the driving strength to continued nation building. We live, prosper, sustainably grow with the community, whilst developing quality mobility chains, aspiring to be your first choice on every occasion. Ella Motors, celebrating with Papua New Guinea throughout our independence golden jubilee.
Pepsi bottle. Tell him shorty come get it. Come grind on me, but met it. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi bottle. Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi bottle.
For Simon, life is simple. Dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever.
Yes!
From small dreams to big possibilities. The OneTalk jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
New Fabuloso multi-purpose cleaner with an irresistible fragrance that lasts all day long, creating a field of flowers in every corner of your home with an irresistible fragrance that lasts and lasts all day long. Fabuloso, irresistible fragrance.
We are a close polyamorous squad of 4 people. Tay is my wife and Alicia's my girlfriend. Alicia's my wife and Tay is my girlfriend.
Poly Family, Thursdays 8:30 on TLC.
Welcome back. Autonomous Bougainville government has welcomed the transfer of functions from the PNG Forest Authority to Bougainville. The two parties signed a memorandum of agreement last Friday in Port Moresby. The agreement sets up a formal platform for cooperation, enabling PNG FA to continue offering technical assistance, policy advice and institutional support as Bougainville builds its internal capacity.
A memorandum of agreement was signed last week to have PNG Forest Authority functions transferred to the autonomous Bougainville government. It outlines a structured and practical approach to transferring selected forestry powers and responsibilities under the Forestry Act 1991 to the ABG from 2025 to 2030. PNG FA said this initiative reflected a broader trend across government, where national departments and agencies have entered similar agreements with the ABG to gradually transfer functions. ABG Chief Secretary Kenneth Nane described the signing as historic, which he said aligns with Bougainville's ongoing autonomy arrangements.
Transferring the powers and functions to the autonomous region of Bougainville, it's really empowering the people of Bougainville and the government of Bougainville to sustainably manage the forestry resources in the autonomous region of Bougainville. So it is really empowering our people. We had a very bad experience in terms of resource development and in terms of mining, in terms of forestry sector. The experience that we've gone through has taught us a lot in terms of how resources are extracted and benefits are received. And we can say here that the experience that we have gone through has really taught the national government and the independent state of Papua New Guinea and the rest of us lessons that we have to be delicate in dealing with resource owners, land owners, and our people in the community. So with those lessons learned, we take this transfer of forestry powers and functions as very significant and historic.
Mr. Nane emphasized on technical capacity, institutional arrangements, structured cooperation and ongoing collaboration as the foundation of the successful implementation of Bougainville's forestry powers. He reaffirmed ABG's commitment to entering into the agreement and called on the PNG-FA in helping autonomous region develop the necessary human resources and institutional frameworks to manage its forestry sector.
This joint partnership cooperation that we are building together will be the part in terms of empowering the Bougainvilleans, the ABG, to build up their capacity in terms of manpower, but also the regulatory institutions that is going to be required to effectively manage and administer the forestry powers and functions in the autonomous region of Bougainville.
PNG-FA Managing Director John Mosoro said the agreement signed allows for a structured and meaningful step forward toward empowering Bougainville to sustainably manage its forest resources and also honors Bougainville's autonomy.
It's an honor, and also it's a unique for us that now we'll see some of our activities, our responsibilities will be transferred pure and outright in terms of our process, in terms of our instruments, in terms of our permit, in our project agreement and all that. We will have a discussion on that.
Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
After a decade, the Pacific Lime and Cement Project was launched at Kido Village, Hirikoyari District by Prime Minister James Marape. This launch is known as the country's first downstream lime manufacturing hub, capable of producing quick lime, clinker and ultimately cement from quarry to port. This could potentially establish a new export industry as well. PLC Managing Director Paul Walla emphasized that this project is a general change for the people of Kido and Lealea villages, Hirikoyari District, Central Province and the country.
Building the country first, 100% GMO first, before we export abroad. I'm so privileged that we will see bricks, pavers, casting, culverts, bridge pipes, beams, everything that could be made here in the future for the country.
The Special Economic Zones Authority Board has approved the issuance of a 12-month provisional developer license to Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited for the development of the Central Province Industrial Park at Kosan Bay, following recommendations from the SEZA Licensing Committee. SEZA Board Chairman Dr. Lawrence House and KPHL Managing Director Wapu Song announced this today.
The Special Economic Zones Authority Board has approved for Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited to be issued a 12-month provisional developer license to develop the Central Province Industrial Park at Kosan Bay. In a joint press conference in Port Moresby today, CISA Board Chairman Dr. Lawrence Sauce said the CPIP project is a cornerstone of the government's economic diversification agenda and is expected to stimulate job creation, industrial processing and regional development in Central Province, which will be developed by KPHL. However, the board, in the interest of financial prudence and legal compliance, resolved that the tax or non-tax incentives under the SEZ incentive framework are deferred pending the provisions and assessments of the following by the CISA board.
Provisional license has been issued to Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited in its Central Province Industrial Park that is going to be developed close to the Napa Napa project.
He said the investment value of this project is 1.85 billion kina.
Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited in massively investing 1.85 billion kina, and that's not little money. We're not talking about millions, we're talking about billions. Into the Central Province Industrial Park is a testament to the fact that a flagship company of this country, Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, truly believes in this country and is further willing to invest, apart from its many investment and philanthropy work that it has done for the country, in the Central Province Industrial Park development.
At the same time, the board has a legal duty to ensure transparency and fiscal discipline. The board will only grant incentives when minimum financial disclosures and compliance standards are satisfied.
In terms of the SEZ license, will be deferred a bit until we ironed out a few issues on the financial side of things. I'm happy to report that in terms of land, SIPA and all the other compliance, physical planning and all that, KPHL team has fully complied with that.
KPHL Managing Director Wapu Sok said the first phase of the project will involve the establishment of the training and fabrication facility to equip Papua New Guineans with skills needed for the mining and oil and gas sector.
Basically went out to develop the project on the basis of its own economics. A training facility and a fabrication facility for a start. Why did we actually go out to do that? Because it was really from the lessons learned from PNG LNG project and the past mining projects.
Sok said other facilities that will be built include a police post, clinic and other government facilities. KPHL will work with the CISA board to obtain the 15-year license for these developments. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
And now a look at finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2412 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2337 US, $0.3589 Australian dollars, $0.1938 euro, and 34.7 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold closed higher, the rest closed the day lower, and on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll be back with the day's stories from the region.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Talks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in Milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in Milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Fine PNG made.
Curly. Straight. Soft. Wavy. Afro. Short. Long. Healthy. Palmolive Naturals for naturally beautiful hair.
It's formula infused with extracts like coconut oil, aloe vera and avocado to enhance your hair's natural beauty, giving you naturally beautiful hair that always looks gorgeous and smells great throughout the day. Palmolive Naturals.
Have a great hair day.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Long year 2024, 7 baby I born one time HIV. HIV I can go long baby long triple rot. Time bel mama I get HIV, long time long karen baby, na time baby is susu. Tasol Yumi can help him bel mama, long look out him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bell mama clinic, na kiss him antenatal check. Time Yumi pan him sick HIV area, or time bell mama I positive penis, early treatment I can save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV I go long baby. This Lutok Sawe I come long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
Tracking Lomax, set up beautiful.
Other side of the ground. Ball's on the deck. Roosters have got a try for us.
Now 4, and this is good shape. What a pass!
Right, Humner.
For the day, he flies.
Thanks for staying with us. Renowned Australian-Japanese designer Akira Isogawa will headline the Genesis showcase at this year's Papua New Guinea Fashion Week, coinciding with the country's 50th independence celebrations. The historic event will be staged at APEC House from September 17th to 20th, marking a major cultural milestone for Papua New Guinea. Isogawa, known for his delicate artistry and cultural fusion, brings global prestige to the showcase, which explores the theme Genesis, inviting designers to blend traditional Papua New Guinean motifs with modern fashion expressions. The event is officially recognized by the National Cultural Commission and includes the Pacific Fashion Summit, uniting policymakers, designers, and artisans to discuss sustainable design and industry growth. Mentorship is at the heart of the event, with Nicholas Huxley, Isogawa's formerly mentor, now guiding PNG's emerging talent. Papua New Guinea's premier dance crew One Squad has successfully defended their world title at the 2025 World Hip Hop Dance Championship in Phoenix, Arizona, securing a historic back-to-back win for the nation.
One Squad PNG has made history once again, taking first place at this year's World Hip Hop Dance Championship in the United States. The team competed against more than 3,000 dancers from over 55 countries, outperforming strong contenders including Mexico and Australia, who took second and third place respectively. The back-to-back win highlights the team's discipline, creativity and resilience, bringing global attention to Papua New Guinea's talent in the performing arts. Their participation was made possible through the continued support of Pacific Industries Limited under its Mountain Dew brand, which provided full sponsorship for their trip and preparation. One Squad's victory not only celebrates dance excellence, but also marks a proud moment for PNG on the world stage. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
Solomon Islands could exclude China, the United States and other countries from the upcoming Pacific Islands Forum meeting. Solomon Islands Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele is under increasing pressure over whether his country will allow Taiwan's representatives to attend the PIF Forum leaders meeting in Honiara this September. Taiwan has long attended the meeting as a development partner and has used that opportunity to meet with Pacific allies that extend its diplomatic recognition. But Beijing remains intent on doing everything it can to isolate Taiwan diplomatically and has been pressing Solomon Islands to break with traditional and exclude Taiwan entirely. Authorities have spent the day searching for 2 missing Tasmanians after their plane disappeared off the northern Tasmanian coast. The small aircraft left Georgetown Airport on Saturday afternoon, headed for central New South Wales, but never made it to its destination.
Waters, in search of a missing local couple and their plane.
The pilot, a male in his 70s, and a female passenger aged in her 60s.
The plane departed from Georgetown Airport at 12:45 on Saturday afternoon. It was due to stop at Leongatha in Victoria, then continue on to Hillston Airport in central western New South Wales. But the plane never finished the first leg. Police say the 2-seater, bright green plane made no distress calls. A search was triggered when concerned family members at their destination raised the alarm just after 5 p.m. The pilot was experienced and heavily involved in the Georgetown Aero Club, but in a newer plane.
The information I've been provided is the current owner and pilot of the plane had only purchased the plane 3 to 4 months ago.
The search has focused on Bass Strait, with a helicopter in the air around Georgetown, working on their coastline and land near Leongatha.
We're asking anyone who's on the coastline in northern Tasmania or traversing across Bass Strait to keep a lookout for any debris, or it could be something as simple as a life jacket, some airplane parts, to contact AMSA or Tasmania Police.
The Marine Authority will reassess the situation tonight and decide whether to continue the search overnight.
Any body of water is difficult to search. The main thing is, though, this is still a search operation. We are hoping that we find these people alive.
The International Energy Agency has revealed China and India have been given the green light to a wave of new coal-fired power stations. As Alan Cole explains, this has profound implications for the global effort to cut greenhouse gas emissions, which haven't fallen since 1997.
Stop global warming. We should keep trying to hit net zero by 2050, and the coalition should keep tearing itself apart over it. But we're halfway through the 50-year project of achieving net zero emissions that started in Kyoto in 1997, but emissions haven't started falling yet. The average world temperature is already more than the 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels that the world pledged in Paris in 2015 to try to avoid. And while one hesitates to attribute blame, it's China's fault. China is almost entirely responsible for the increase in carbon dioxide emissions since 1997, with a bit of help from India. High-income countries are entirely responsible for what happened before that, which is a lot. Australia's emissions have increased by 20% as well, but that amount is a rounding error. Now, I pointed out here a fortnight ago that China is leading the world in renewable energy, which is true, but it's also leading in the burning of coal. So where does this leave us? Well, I think the most useful thing the government can do is focus on getting ready for the reality of global warming and take full advantage of the energy transition, because it is starting to accelerate, even though it might be too late. In the short term, it's going to be an insurance problem. The cost of extreme weather events in Australia has been doubling each decade. A new study released last week showed that hailstones are getting bigger and more damaging, but the big one is floods. They're getting deeper and wider. And if you live in a floodplain now, you're uninsured. The governments, state and federal, have to build levees or lift houses up onto stilts or move people to higher ground. The insurance industry wants a $30 billion 10-year flood defence fund, which is probably not enough. But a carbon tax would pay for it and would also do something about emissions.
Canberra's electricity network has been struggling to cope with record demand for electricity this winter. high heater use, population growth, and a push towards electrification mean there has been an uptick in unplanned outages this cold season.
Teas worth thousands of dollars, aging to perfection in the right conditions.
Pretty much everything needs to be kept below 4 degrees. If it stays above that temperature for a long period of time, it needs to be thrown out.
Which means all's well until the power goes out.
It's like immediate stress. I think the monetary value comes secondary to me. I think the food wastage is the first thing. It's really sad to throw out that much food when you're just filling up a skip bin with food that could be consumed.
Record high demand for electricity this winter has led to a jump in unplanned outages. The reason is simple: it's really cold.
A lot of people who might not use their heater the whole night generally turn the heater on, and when it starts to get close to the network's capacity, if there is any underlying issues with the network, they start to show up and then might trip the feeder.
Suburbs in the Molonglo Valley and Gungahlin have been especially affected by outages, which have jumped by 20% compared to June last year. Some residents have reported multiple outages per week.
Both areas are growing areas in the ACT. So Molonglo Valley, the growth out there has been quite close to our capacity on the network.
And while some batteries have been added to the network, they're only temporary. The added pressure doesn't come as a shock to experts because of Canberra's population growth and a shift away from gas appliances.
As some of our cities and regional areas are growing, we need to deal with that by putting in more infrastructure. Part of that infrastructure is electricity, and keeping up with that is hard sometimes. Now, I think that's the role of the energy companies, whether they're privately owned or government owned.
Plans to upgrade Canberra's network are underway, but won't offer relief this season.
We're currently building a brand new zones substation, which will be online before next winter, before we see the next peaks.
Keeping up with demand so Canberrans can keep warm or cool.
From catching waves to cruising the mighty Fitzroy River, regional Queenslanders are finding unique ways to stay active as they age. While exercise is important to staying healthy, it's been found that the social benefits of working out with your mates can be just as important to your well-being.
Strapping in for a mild ride. The Gold Coast granny grommets meet weekly to tackle the waves and stare down ageing.
We've got a group of about 5 of us that come every week without fail and get in the cold water regardless of the temperature.
Hitting the surf in their 60s, they know the importance of staying active.
I think you have to make it a priority every day. So for me, I train every day in some way or other. And this is just a really good, fun way of doing it.
Having that connection is very, very important. It probably outweighs the physical, though that's really important too.
As well as the obvious physical benefits, researchers say exercising in a group setting can be the key to motivating older people to stay active long term, and it can help stave off loneliness.
The social support and being with others increases our mood and our mental health as well. So it ticks 2 boxes if you can get out, get active and get active with others.
Rowing is how these Rockhampton mates in their 60s keep moving.
Very hard to injure yourself, and as you get older, that's really important.
But the Fitzroy fossils build more than muscle on their adventures.
The beauty of rowing in a boat, it's a team sport, so you get the opportunity to be with people. You're doing something that's a collective endeavour.
Strengthening body, mind and mateship.
You're watching TV1 News. Sports is next. Stay with us.
Are you ready to meet the best version of yourself? The one with the bright, confident smile? You've got to take pride in how good you look, how fresh your breath smells, and how great you feel. To boss it at work, to be your best for uni, or to catch the eye of that special someone. You've got to brush up your vibe with whiter, healthier, brighter teeth. Brush up for confidence with Colgate.
Mr. Russell, may mas isimsig niya sa bumingin.
You survey yourself, you can put in one per complaint.
I'm not giving big player. Online by Toto. No, also one I'm supposed me on data solid kisimeli.
You think him go through Sam? You like putting this plus sexual harassment report on Mr. Rasso?
Who said he making this black complaint?
Joining BCFW now member blog me plan na stand up strong against in workplace harassment.
Noodles. Tastier, but you like it more.
Through the Blackwater bayous and in the dark Louisiana night floats a duck camp, alive with the sounds of swamp pop and with the smells of Cajun cooking. I find no greater joy than when I cook for friends at the duck camp. We'll see what it means to cook recipes from the swamp floor pantry and explore Louisiana's rich, complicated history with the outdoors. Shoot straight and come hungry, my friends. My name is Jean-Paul Bourgeois, and this is Duck Camp Dinners.
In sports, the Guest Resources Central Dabaris delivered a masterclass performance on Sunday, demolishing the more favoured Engamioks 40 points to 10 in round 16 of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup at the Santos National Football Stadium. Originally slated to take place in Wabeg, the match was relocated to Port Moresby due to election-related incidents. This change marked a pivotal turning point for the Dabaris, who, after enduring a frustrating 12-week losing streak, came out determined to showcase their resilience.
From the outset, the Guest Resources Central Dabaris displayed their early dominance in Sunday's round 16 clash against the Engamioks. They quickly accumulated points in both halves while effectively limiting Mioks' possession. Despite the significant score gap, the Mioks demonstrated their tenacity by scoring 2 late tries, ultimately putting some respectability to the scoreboard at full time. Dabaris coach Solomon Kuluniasi was proud of his team's perseverance.
12 weeks, like you said, 12 weeks, been a hard 12 weeks. But the standards never dropped in the training. They kept on turning up and never gave up. We did our videos, did our gym, did everything we could to try and turn this team around. It's good it happened today. My coaching staff and the players, they deserve this win, so I'm really happy for them and the club.
Kuluniasi attributed the success to commitment, hard work and sacrifices by both coaching staff and players. Emphasizing the importance of nurturing young talent, Kuluniasi highlighted the integration of several emerging players into the lineup.
We brought about 9 or 8 boys. This is to rebuild for the new year. So I'm really happy. More games will develop them better for Dem Cup, but we're in a rebuilding stage. So, but a couple of old boys today showed up what they can do today. So that's some good signs. So I wish they should have shown this better, previous week. So, but we grab this win. Thank you.
Rising Dabari's fullback and two-try hero Nathan Cora was outstanding. He picked up the Man of the Match award.
Yeah, we play work defense, ball security, we play no drop, less penalty, we play no game. Yes, some bamla go back and work training now, we play Lilia, but defense group bamla next week.
Coach Koloniasi also praised seasoned players for their leadership on the field, which was critical in guiding the team to victory. Terry Long with TVWAN Sports.
The senior men's match on Saturday between the Gereka Bombers and the University Tigers was a fascinating contest filled with drama and excitement. The lead changed hands multiple times throughout the game, showcasing the competitiveness of both teams.
The senior men's match on Saturday between Gereka Bombers and Uni Tigers was a fascinating contest filled with drama and excitement. The lead changed hands multiple times throughout the game, showcasing the competitiveness of both teams. The Tigers appeared to have clinched the game only to be undone by a crucial mistake from their right-winger player. The error allowed the Bombers to seize the opportunity and kick a goal to level the score. The match concluded in an intense draw with both teams finishing 32 points each, 5 behind, 2 goal, 32. Yesterday's thrilling showdown featured the youthful Gordon's Kokofas team squaring off against the experienced Koboni side. The match was tightly contested, culminating in a nail-biting finish where the Kokofas managed to secure a narrow victory by just 1 point. Koboni's inability to capitalize on scoring opportunities ultimately cost them the game, as they missed 8 out of 13 goal attempts. The final score reflected the intense battle. Kokofas 6 behind, 3 goal 39 to Koboni 5 behind, 8 goal 39. In the early action yesterday, the Hula team, Alavala Swans, provided a strong challenge for the Magpies, ultimately falling short by just 9 points in a spirited effort. In the women's match, the Gereka Magpies displayed an outstanding performance against Koboni, dominating the contest with a commanding scoreline of 42-0. The Magpies' strong show of skill and teamwork left no doubt about their superiority in the match. As the competition intensifies into the second round, more thrilling encounters expected across both the men's and women's games in the coming weeks. Terry Long with TVWAN Sports.
West Eagles AFL Club is firming for a strong finish in the 2025 Moniplus Port Moresby AFL competition with a hope to challenge for the major title. Following their victory over Skyroos over the weekend, Eagles head coach John Timothy said his side has done well during the most part of the season and will look to continue its winning form into the back end of the season. Timothy said the win was important for their aspirations for the finals. He further said the Eagles have done well in some areas of their game, but there are also other areas where they need to improve. With the team currently sitting top on the POM AFL competition ladder, Coach Timothy is confident his side will make the finals.
We optimistic that we can play the finals this year, but the other teams are getting stronger as well. Also with injuries, some of our boys are carrying injuries as well. We hope that they will recover from their injuries before the finals. All the teams in the competition, they are becoming strong. They are all strong teams. So it's just that you need to make sure that you have the good crop of players to put up a challenge every weekend to get a win and base yourself in the top 4 table there.
Samoa has become the first team to secure a place in the semi-finals of the OFC Under-16 Women's Championship following an impressive 4-0 victory over Fiji in Group A action in Apia, Samoa. And New Caledonia have come from behind to defeat Tahiti 4-2 in an action-packed contest today.
The OFC Under-16 women's matches got to a firing start, with host Samoa cementing a top 4 place with one group match still to play. From the opening whistle, Samoa controlled proceedings and dictated the tempo. Its midfielders orchestrated play with authority, stifling Fiji's efforts to gain any meaningful possession. The Fijian side was left chasing shadows for much of the match and struggled to mount any real attacking threat. Attention now shifts to Thursday's fixture between Fiji and New Caledonia, which will decide the second semi-finalist from the group. Attention now shifts to Thursday's fixture between Fiji and New Caledonia, which will decide the second semi-final from the group. Fiji holds the advantage, requiring only a draw to progress due to a superior goal difference, while New Caledonia must claim all 3 points to advance. In the other match, New Caledonia got the better of Tahiti to win 4-2. The hard-fought victory keeps New Caledonia's tournament hopes alive, while Tahiti remains winless and still searching for its first points. Susan Oreape, TVWAN Sports.
And before we take a weather, Prime Minister James Marape, Prime Minister of New Zealand Christopher Luxon arrived in Papua New Guinea just after 6 p.m. this evening on a Royal New Zealand Air Force plane with his delegation. He was received at the APEC Terminal Jackson's International Airport by a ceremonial guard of honor parade and a 19-gun salute. Present to welcome him as he disembarked was Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso, Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Tachenko, the Governor for NCD Powes Pakop, and New Zealand High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea, Peter Vart. Prime Minister Luxon and his delegation have proceeded to the APEC House for an official welcome dinner hosted by Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape. While in Papua New Guinea, PM Luxon will be visiting several New Zealand government-funded projects in Port Moresby, including Fred Hollow Centre for Eye Health at the Port Moresby General Hospital. And now the weather forecast. In regional forecast, southern Port Moresby partly cloudy, Daru cloudy periods with few showers, Momase lay cloudy periods with brief showers, Wewak partly cloudy, New Guinea Islands, Lorengau partly cloudy with chances of few showers and possible thunderstorms, Buka partly cloudy with few showers, and Highlands, Manditari and Wabeg, morning fog clearing into cloudy periods with heavy showers, rain and possible thunderstorms. Ocean forecast for PNG areas for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea, sea slight to moderate with southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Solomon Sea, sea slight with southeast to easterly winds of 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, sea slight with southeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. And Pacific Ocean, sea slight with southeast to easterly winds of 10 to 15 knots. And coastal waters forecast, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru, to Kiwai Island, to Kerema to Yule Island, to Port Moresby, to Hood Point, to Samari Islands, and waters of New Ireland to New Britain and Bougainville, seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters along warning areas. Waters of Finsafen through Vitia's Dampier Strait to Siasi Island to Long Island, seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters. Waters of Samari Island to Cape Vogel and Olmil Bay Islands, waters north of Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf to Finsafen, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. That ends another edition of TV1 News Tonight. Pleasant viewing. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by